In today's private placement world, there are tons of brokers out there who will take any proof of funds they can get. Happy to finally find an investor. These inexperienced brokers promise the world, all for a shot to get rich quick. This leaves the investor and the other brokers thinking a deal is in the works when there is nothing backing their claims. The reality is, most assets cannot work in private placement. And unfortunately, due to the ignorance of so many in the business, hundreds of worthless compliance packages are accepted every single day. Though wasting your time on deals that never close is frustrating, going to jail is far worse. You might ask, what does jail have to do with introducing an investor's application to a private placement program? Well, what if these assets are fraudulent, connected to criminals, or part of an identity theft operation? The fact is, you are implicated in the crime by transmitting fraudulent documents. Believe it or not, I can't even count how many times I have encountered fake proof of funds over the course of 7 years. Though our intentions are not to scare you, this is a problem that has grown in recent years. Since we care about our readers, we will uncover details that will set you apart from the rest and protect you from situations just like this. In this video, we will provide tips on how to determine if a proof of funds is real, while at the same time covering important tools for analyzing the investor. As you have learned from the beginning of the video, screening investors properly can be the difference between success and imprisonment. Ready to learn? Let's start with some important tips to help you understand proof of funds better. Number 1. Any personal knowledge. Do you know this investor personally? Can anyone you trust vouch for their money for a fact? Has anyone met this investor face to face? These are a few questions that are quite important to know. If the answer to all of these is no, you should take a very close look at all of the documentation provided. The last thing you want to do is get so excited you have documents that you forward it to the trader before analyzing it in detail. Number 2. Temperament of investor. When screening an investor looking for private placement investments, they should have a certain demeanor to them. If they seem reserved and don't have a ton of questions, this could be a sign that something disingenuous is present. If you can, ask direct questions and see what type of response you get. In short, use your instinct to analyze the investor's personality, approach, confidence, questions, and tone. Once you get good at that, it becomes easy to screen from there on. Number 3. Recent account statement. When an investor is entering a private placement program, the proof of funds must be presented with the compliance package. For cash accounts, the investor must either submit a recent bank account statement or a letter signed by 2 bank officers attesting to the amount present. Once you get either of those documents, take a close look for little errors or inconsistencies. Real bank statements never have errors and are always the same. If the investor has a debt note, such as an MTN, BG, CD, SBLC, etc., they must submit a copy of the front and back of the note. If they claim the note is on Euroclear or can't produce it, steer clear because you are wasting your time. Number 4. Letter from bank officer. After you get the proof of funds, and it is confirmed by the trader you work with, many trade platforms still require a bank confirmation letter. This is a letter from the bank stating that they will cooperate with the account holder's requests when needed. In many cases, this is a letter from the investor's bank confirming they will send an MT-760 upon the request of the client. Without this letter, most real platforms won't even entertain the investor. The reason is, no matter how much money is in the account, if the banks do not cooperate, nothing will ever get done. Number 5. Professionalism of compliance package. As silly as it sounds, all of the real investors I have met over the years have submitted very well organized packages. If the package you receive looks intelligently perfect, all of the documents are there, and the pictures are crystal clear, then you may have a good investor. On the other hand, if the package comes in several emails, it looks average, and there are incomplete sections, 99% of the time you will get nowhere. If you do have an investor that passes through the screening tips we just covered, it still isn't time to celebrate. The fact is, if their asset is on the list we are about to talk about, the whole deal is likely to fail. Now that you know more about proof of funds, we'll teach you how to identify real and fake statements. Number 1. SKRs. Safekeeping receipts are nothing more than what they sound like, a receipt. Though they can be backed by cash, in most cases an SKR serves as a proof of hard assets. If you get an SK from an investor, ask them what it is for, or what it is backed by. If it is an asset your trader accepts, ask for the supporting documents, because an SKR is really worth nothing by itself. Number 2. Junk bonds. These are all over the private placement business, and are completely worthless in most cases. Examples of junk bonds are Venezuelan bonds, Brazilian bonds, corporate bonds, Japanese bonds, and other similar assets. In most cases, you should steer clear of investors with these assets, because usually they never even existed. Number 3. Hard assets. If you find an investor with billions in precious stones, metals, real estate, or other illiquid assets, don't think it's that easy. The easy part is finding someone with hard assets looking for private placement. The hard part is finding a real program that will hypothecate and trade the asset at the LTV, or loan to value. Number 4. Promissory notes. These notes have also flooded the private placement business, and in all honesty, it is rather humorous. A promissory note is just what it sounds like, a promise to pay someone at a later date. This is really no different than an IOU, but is printed in fancy paper to make people feel more secure. If you come across these notes, don't even waste a moment of your time on them. Number 5. Irrevocable trust receipts, or ITRs. By definition, ITRs are receipts showing funds available within a trust. The problem with this is, private placement traders can only work with funds which can be proven on deposit at a top bank. If a client with an ITR can move funds to a large bank, then the deal might be resurrected, otherwise good luck. Though there are a lot of people with assets looking for private placement, very few of them have liquid assets, and even fewer are willing to invest. Let's face it, the odds are stacked against you, but if you can properly screen an investor's proof of funds, your odds of success are far greater. After watching this video, don't be like the thousands of other brokers pushing deals that don't exist. Take the extra time to qualify your investors with the information we have provided, and by promoting reality, you will find far more success in the end.